here's a front to back. Here's a back to front. The back to back can go infinitely because you're just starting in a back grip and you're pulling it into a back grip. See? Back to back. And front to front. Front to front. So the last two you can do infinitely, but they're a little bit more difficult. And also we want to get the back to fronts and the front to backs. Okay. Because once we learn those, we'll be able to do figure eights, and we'll start adding back to fronts and front to backs, and what you'll end up with is a figure eight wrist roll. Alright, you want to learn that, right? Because, I mean, once you get that, everything opens up. So here's, there's two ways that people get into the back to front or the front to back wrist rolls. I'm going to show you the way that I usually get into them, and I use them it's called a rip, okay? A rip is basically one hand creates the momentum for the other hand. Like in nunchucks, usually one hand is just creating the momentum for itself, like so. A rip, this left hand, for instance, is going to rip the momentum into it. So you're using one hand to create the momentum for the spin. So the back of your fist, to do a rip, you want the back of your fist, one, to be pointed up towards the sky, or your ceiling, and the back of your fist or the other should be pointed down towards the floor, like this. So here's ceiling, floor. The one that's pointed towards the floor, we're just going to pull it up like this. Okay, this is step one. You should see the chain go across the back of your fist like that. Okay, try it again. This one that's pointed towards the floor crosses the back of your fist. Okay, the moment it crosses the back of your fist, you're going to open your hand, and what's going to happen is the momentum pull is going to cause the opposite stick to actually roll in. So here's what it's going to look like in slow motion. I'm going to open my hand, and this stick is going to roll right into my hand, and I'm going to close it. From here, all I do is I twist my wrist 180 degrees, like this. Step one. Step two, open, let the other one fall in. Step three, open, let the other one fall in, and twist your wrist up. And the hand that just pulled it upwards is now going to clasp down. It's 4 steps, okay? 1, 2, 3, twist it, and then 4, this hand grabs down. Watch my left hand now. Just goes up and comes down. Goes up, comes down. The reason why it goes up and comes down is because you'll be able to practice both directions in this way. So, left fist pointing down, right fist pointing up towards the sky. We're going to do it again here. Here we go. Pull up, grab. You'll notice immediately now my left fist is, the back of my fist is pointing up to the sky and my right's pointing down. So we've completely reversed the grip. So now it's turn for the right hand to do the same, and you want to start off again by just pulling the chain. Make sure you can pull the chain right over the back of the fist. And back. Back of the fist and back. Step 2, we're going to back of the fist and grab it, like that. Okay? So we're going to do it again, back of the fist and grab it. This is probably the hardest part. I will say, like most people when they do the wrist roll at first, they reach for it. Don't reach for it. Let the chuck spin in your hand. There should be practically no movement. If I'm holding the chuck like this, here's what it looks like. Oftentimes what I see though is this. They're reaching for the chuck. They think the chuck is actually going to end up somewhere else, but it's not. Because the chain's wrapping across the back of your fist. It's actually, if we were to just hold it very still, you're going to see that this part will naturally fall on this part of the hand. What happens to a lot of beginners is they reach for it, they slide, they don't think that this part of the chuck is going to naturally fall into their hand. The moment it slides in their hand, they're going to have, what's going to happen is